Hi, happy spring. This is Myra with Boutique Paint. I'm working on some cute little flower pots to put in the shop for our spring show that starts this weekend. And I thought I'd share them with you. I got these pots on a good sale, so I picked them up. Thought it'd be fun to do a little playing. This is part of my dried up paint. If it sits too long and you don't put the lid on completely, it gets a little goopy. So I'm just taking a chunk of it and I'm putting it on the lid, and then I'm watering it down. I'm just kind of making it's kind of a soupy mess. And this is an off-white. Just kind of mix that in there with it. And I'm going to spray the pots first. I'm going to really kind of get them quite wet. And the reason why is because terracotta absorbs moisture like there's no tomorrow. You can even spray the inside a little bit. Just really kind of saturate it. Now, if you wanted an all-over paint color, I would still paint or spray it a little bit just so that you have some work time with your paint. But for this, we're going to glop some on. I'm going to work in little sections, even with these small pots. I'm going to take a wet or damp towel, and I'm just going to wipe it off. And then move to the next section. And you could, rub it so it has a nice clean look like that, or you can dab it, make it look a little bit messier. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom. So that's kind of what that one looks like. I have a bunch of different ones. Like I said, I got these on sale. So I just grabbed a whole bunch of different, or maybe I didn't say I got these on sale. Anyway, I got them on sale, and I thought they would be fun to use for the show. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. Let those ones dry, and you need to let them dry so that the ink won't smear. I'm going to set this aside. And this is where it gets a little tricky because, especially on the really small pots, this is one that's already dried. There's not a lot of surface. And on top of that, you're going around a curved surface. So what I did is I took the rubber part off of my flexi stamper and I'm using it. So what I did with this one is I put the stamp towards the top of the flexi stamper rubber so that I could stamp it and then curve it around, and this would not interfere. Now with these pots, first of all, there's a lot more surface, but the lip is up quite a bit higher. So I think I'm going to try this, the bunny. And this is off of the knob toppers that I'm using here. And my ink. And you could use your knob toppers. Well, you could use any of the stamps. One thing I was just thinking about is when I was trying to figure out what stamps I wanted to use for this, and I have, because I've been a dealer for a long time, I have all the stamps, and some of the stamps when I was selling them, I thought, oh, I'm not going to keep that one, I don't care for it. And then you come up with a project and you're like, oh, well, maybe that would work really well for that. And where I know iron orchid is a bit of an addiction for me too, you don't know if you want to have everything, but I can say some of my favorite stamps are ones that I didn't think I cared for the first time I saw them. I'm like, oh, I'd never use that. And then your tastes change, or you're working on a project and that's the perfect stamp. So the reason why I'm using this is because it's got the rubber flex. And so I can kind of pull it and wrap it around at the same time to get that impression onto this little tiny pot. I'm just going to hold it there for a second. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. So that's how I did the small ones. You could also, with the bigger ones, it would be easier just to, you know, you could take your fingers and you could just around and put the stamp on there. Or you could use, like I use the cut up the plastic to different sizes, but it's easier to on the bigger pots to get it to curve around. On the smaller pots, I was having kind of a hard time with it. And just kind of pull it so the surface can hit and lift. And it's okay if it's not perfect. It's not, unless you're one of those people that needs it perfect, and I understand, I get that, but it's supposed to be kind of funky. So anyway, if you would like to know about any of the products we're using, they're on our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. Thank you so much for joining me.